Hi, I'm Mitch.
And I'm Genna.
And we're here to make mashed potatoes.
It's a family recipe. While he is peeling the potato, I'm going to bring the water to a boil. Okay, here is a little bit of history about potatoes and how they grow. Potatoes are usually grown from other potatoes. You plant a whole small potato or a piece of a larger one for a new plant. The whole potato or cut piece has several buds, also known as eyes, on the surface. When conditions are right, these buds will sprout, whether the potatoes are in the high ground or in a kitchen cupboard. They sprout, then develop into independent plants.
Okay, so this next part is when we chop the potato into cubes.
The potato is the world's fourth largest crop. Potatoes also arrived in the colonies in 1621. Potatoes are a vegetable, but they do contain a lot of starch or carbs, so you be careful about how many you eat. The word potato comes from the Spanish word patata.
So this is when we put the potatoes in the boiling water.
So now it is time to add our diced potatoes.
And to peel them, we used a vegetable peeler, and to slice them, we used a vegetable parer knife.
Our water is at a boil, so we'll just add these in. And then we also add our 1/4 teaspoon of salt.
So while the potatoes are boiling for 10 minutes, I'm going to fry the 2 pieces of bacon on medium to high heat. And I'm going to fry these until they are tender and crisp. Okay, now that it has been 3 minutes, I'm going to flip the bacon onto the other side. And now we're gonna let that sit for another 3 minutes, and then after that 3 minutes have passed, we're gonna take them off and put them on the plate with paper towel to get rid of the grease.
Now that the bacon is tender and crisp, I'm going to turn off the stove and then let these sit on a paper towel for all the grease to soak out. Now that the potatoes have boiled for 10 minutes, that's what they should look like, and then I'm going to let them drain in a colander until all of the liquid is out. It's gonna be really hot. Now that the bacon has all the grease soaked out of it, I'm going to chop it into little pieces with this paring knife.
Now while she is chopping the bacon, I am going to put the potatoes back into the pan. So now I am going to mash the potatoes with a masher until there are few lumps, because the few lumps that are left will be gotten rid of by the electric mixer that we are going to use later.
Now I'm going to beat the mashed potatoes with an electric mixer to get rid of all the clumps, and I'm going to stay towards the bottom so that none of the mashed potatoes go flying anywhere. This gives your mashed potatoes a better texture than before because it gets rid of all the lumps.
Okay, so now I'm going to add the milk.
That's 2 tablespoons.
And while she stirs that in, we're going to make sure it's completely stirred in before we put any more ingredients in. Once you think that all of it is gone and mixed in the mashed potatoes, you're going to add your butter.
Yeah, I'll get that out with the spoon. And that is 1 tablespoon of butter.
And I'm going to wait till she mixes all that in. Now that all of your milk and butter stirred in, you can add the cream cheese, which gives it the creamy texture. And this is what really makes the mashed potatoes the best.
That's 2 ounces of cream cheese. And then we're going to have this on the stove, and we have it on low heat to make sure that the mashed potatoes don't cool down, because if we didn't have it on the stove, the mashed potatoes would get cold. So this keeps them warm and good. Just want to make sure all that gets stirred in, because you don't want any little flavors of butter, or especially cream cheese. You want to make sure that all gets stirred in so it gets a really creamy texture. I'm going to stir the mashed potatoes a little bit longer, still on low heat, just to make sure that the cream cheese is completely melted and all in the mashed potatoes. And now, after you're at this point, if you feel like there are still a few more lumps in your mashed potatoes, you can run the electric mixer for just a little bit longer. So I'm going to do that. And don't forget to keep your electric mixer on low and keep it near the bottom so you can keep fewest pieces from flying out of the pan as possible. It should be creamy and fluffy.
Now that your mashed potatoes are at a creamy texture, you're going to add the bacon in, and that is the last step. The 2 tablespoons of bacon. You want to get it all out, and when you stir it, you want to make sure that it is evenly distributed throughout the mashed potatoes.
While he's doing that, I'm going to start cleaning up all these bowls. So this is what your finished product will look like.
And the total cost of the recipe was about $1.95. Hi, I'm Mitch,
And I'm Genna.
and we're here to make mashed
And
potatoes.
I'm Joe.
Dad, get out of our video!